For assumption questions like this one, we need to look at the evidence the passage gives us and decide what idea must be true in order to come to the passage's conclusion. To do that, let's review the passage and then see if we can come up with our own guess about what the assumption is. Here the passage is trying to decide whether the newly found scroll belonged to the Bethel community or the Shemulah community. The passage concludes that because the clay of the jar in which the scroll was found is more like the clay that belongs to the Bethel community, then it is more likely that the scroll also belonged to the Bethel community. Good. So what is the assumption here? The most important part here seems to be the relationship between the jar and the scroll. The passage argues that if the clay used to make the jar is the same as the clay around the Bethel community, then both the jar and the scroll must have belonged to the Bethel community. Let's think about this more closely. The passage assumes that both the jar and the scroll were made in the same area. This is a good guess for our assumption. So now let's look at our answer choices. Choice A is the answer that best matches our prediction. This statement is essential to understanding the argument. This is the correct answer. If we wanted, we could stop here, but let's review why the other choices are wrong. Choice B may be tempting because it suggests that the two communities never shared clay. That doesn't mean the community didn't get different clay from other sources. This answer isn't as related to the passage as choice A, so we can mark it off. Choice C isn't relevant. We're not concerned about the similarities in the community's scripts, but rather how the jar can help figure out where the script came from. So choice C is also incorrect. Moving on to choice D. Like choice B, this answer may be tempting too, because it directly links the maker of the scroll with the jug or jar, but this is more of a supporting detail than an assumption. This choice still does not explain where the clay for the jug came from, so choice D is incorrect. Finally, choice E. We can actually mark this answer off pretty quickly. It's just there to distract us. The passage isn't using the markings to figure out where the jar and the scroll came from. It's using the clay, so this detail isn't relevant and we can quickly mark it as wrong. That leaves us with answer choice A, which was our original guess. Without the information in this choice, the argument just doesn't make sense. That makes this a good assumption. The correct answer is choice A.